Alright gang, welcome back to our vintage survival here in Szpakowo. It is November, very sunny November, 8:09 in the morning to be exact. Right now we've got the fertilizer spreader, the solid fertilizer spreader hooked up. We need a little bit more fertilizer, I think, than what we have. There might be a slim chance that it's enough, but it's going to be close. So just based off of that alone, we're just going to head up to the shop and buy another pallet of solid fertilizer. We have to fertilize the 2 fields we drilled in the last episode. And that's really the main thing we need to do today. Some other things that I would like to potentially try to accomplish today, but it's going to take a lot of money, and I'm not really sure we're going to be able to do it. It might have to wait until the next month. Well, actually, we have some fertilizer here, so I'm glad that I did not buy anything yet. 270 liters. I would think that's enough. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm gonna take a chance that it's enough. The fields we're doing are not very big, so I think it'll be enough. Anyway, what I would like to do today, honestly, besides the fertilizing of the fields that we have to do, I would like to start knocking down some of the trees on our land, right? I said we had a bunch of trees that I wanted to knock down. It would make us a good amount of money, and that's kind of what I want to do. Now, the problem with that is, how are we going to get those trees and sell them? That I don't know yet. I haven't really figured that one out yet. We're going to have to be very strategic with where we cut them down as well, because obviously there's a field surrounding those trees, so it's going to be difficult to get those trees out of the field if we don't cut them the proper way. And cutting them the proper way means we have to kind of go one at a time. We're not really going to be able to go and find the really big ones in the land. We're just going to have to kind of take it by ear and go from the ones that are, well, quite frankly, the ones that are closest to the road, and then continue to work our way in, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, when you see it, I'm sure it'll make sense. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are pretty good here, all things considered. Series is doing well. A lot of people seem to be enjoying this series more than I actually expected, so I'm really happy about that. Yeah, we're making real good progress here, though, too, right? It's a slow progress, but we're making good progress nonetheless. At least I think we are. If we made progress too quickly, it just wouldn't be that realistic for a vintage type of series, in my opinion. We need to be relatively slower at our progress. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So we'll just come down here to our little, well, I think it's here, our little area that we go by, and then come on over here to field 99 and finish that up. And that's really the 2 main things that we needed to do today. The rest of it, we were just kind of waiting on our fields to be ready to harvest. Probably take a look at a couple contracts today too. Really, you know, I'm probably going to knock down a couple of trees, but as I mentioned, once I get those trees knocked down, how am I going to get them to move, right? We don't really have an ideal trailer for that. We don't have a front loader. We don't have, you know, anything really to be able to pick up the trees besides our hands. And if we're chopping down the trees that low, where they'll be able to picked up by hand, we're not going to make all that much money off of them, right? So we've got to see if we can figure out a way to find something or get around that bit of an issue there. Eventually, we're going to need to get the stump grinder, right? We've talked about that a number of times, but in case you stumbled across this, the rules that we've all kind of agreed upon is if there's nothing out there from 1999 or older to utilize, but we need to utilize it. An example of that would be a stump grinder. There's very low odds that somebody's going to come out with a stump grinder from the 90s or older. We're going to allow that rule to be kind of bent a little bit. Now, I do believe, and I forget who said this, it's been a couple of episodes back, probably a couple of weeks back, actually. They looked up the actual base game stump grinder, and it's from like 2002 or 2003, 2001. So kind of a thing we were considering, a little bit of a role-playing thing we were considering, is that maybe I have the prototype of that, right? The prototype would have definitely been worked on and made probably in the late 90s. Just to kind of give you a ballpark of what I'm talking about, there are a couple different choices to choose from, but really for us, it's this Prenoth SF900. Evidently, this thing was made in the early 2000s. It kind of looks like an early 2000 machine, honestly, to me at least. So that's what we're going to be utilizing. Now, real quick, in the used market today, there is a tree devour mod. This is super unrealistic. I don't want to utilize that in this series at all. I love that thing. I absolutely love it. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite mods, honestly. It's just so convenient and it makes things so much easier, but we're not going to do that in this series. So, okay. All the fields should be good and fertilized. Well, actually, I missed a little chunk there. Whoops. I'll go touch that up off camera. But all the fields are good and fertilized now, so they're good. This one actually doesn't even look like it was fertilized a second application. It wasn't. Well, crap. Do I put a tram line in here? I must have forgot about that one. And this one. How did I forget about these? I swear we did these. Well, that's not good, man. That's not going to give us very good yield if we didn't fertilize we didn't do a second application of fertilizing on these fields. Boy. I believe I'm going to kill the crop if I drive over it. Let's just give it a shot. We're going to need more fertilizer. There's no way. We've got the liquid fertilizer. I guess we can utilize that, but I can't believe I forgot about this. Oh, okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We can do it. Okay. All right. Phew. All right, we are going to have to go buy more fertilizer though, but at least we can do it. That's a little bit of a relief. Now, another quick thing here, if you're just stumbling across this series, it's meant to be old, right? So we're not allowed to utilize steering assist of any sort on this series. We can utilize workers if the time comes. And I understand that they're kind of utilizing the same kind of GPS format, but that's kind of different in my eyes. For me specifically, I have to do this the old-fashioned way. And I know a lot of people have mentioned that there are some equipment in the 90s that would have had some basic GPS, and you are correct, there are some. But I can tell you right now, our Volvo does not. There is no GPS in here whatsoever. And even if it did have it, we're going to go the path that we don't have it. We're going to go the path that our equipment is vintage enough that it has no GPS. So I have to do this the old-fashioned way. It's kind of a relief for me, actually. Up until, well, really FS25, I'm on console, so up until FS25, I really haven't had the luxury of course-play GPS of any sort. So I've had to do it this way, right? So it's kind of nice to go back to the roots a little bit here and not have to utilize steering assist. Say not have to, like it's a bad thing. It's not. I love the steering assist. It's actually extremely useful, but it is still nice to not use it, right? It's nice to go back and do it the old-fashioned way that I'm used to doing. So let's get the rest of these fields fertilized. Man, I'm so happy I looked at that. I don't know how we forgot to do that. We must have forgot to do it in the last episode. Well, not even must have. We just forgot to do it in the last episode. But luckily, it's not grown far enough that it's going to cause any kind of issue, and we don't have to put any tram lines in, which that's really a bonus for us, right? Let's head up there. Let's get some more fertilizer. Here, actually, I'll just buy it right now. Let's get some more solid fertilizer, and then, yeah. We'll get those fields done. Takes a little bit of the money away that I wanted to utilize for something, like maybe a trailer, a flat trailer or something like that for the trees we talked about doing, right? But I just don't know how many of those we're going to be able to do and really what we're going to be able to do. Might have to do a contract to get to that point. There is a couple contracts out there for us today. We'll have to decide if any of those make sense. Sorry, Alfred, I'm going in front of you. We'll have to see if any of those make sense, but yeah, we'll carry on here. We're going to get these fields done, and I'll be back with you. Okay, so the fertilizing was all done. I was over here checking out the trees here, right? And then I decided, well, you know what? Maybe I should look at the pamphlet here and see if we can find anything that makes sense for like some kind of a trailer. We have ours. We can modify it slightly and open up the side. If you've been watching the One Tile Challenge series, you know that's possible. we'd still have to pick them up by hand. The biggest problem we're dealing with is the tractor that we currently own, the Volvo, which is fantastic. I love it, not complaining at all, has no option for a front loader at all. So, trying to pick the trees up with the tractor as a front loader, that's completely out. So right now, what we're dealing with is completely by hand. The only way we cannot is if we were to get some kind of a wheel loader, telehandler, front loader, skid steer, whatever. But like the skid steer we would purchase is 25 grand. We don't have enough money for that. Front loader, even more expensive. Telehandlers, even more. I can go out there and see if I can find anything else. Wheel loaders, even more, obviously, besides maybe the Volvo, but the Volvo's 40. So, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards putting it on hold again. I know I talk about doing things and we don't end up doing it, but that's because when I'm talking to you about them, I don't really know if it's going to make sense, and I don't really know if we have the money and the resources, in this instance, to be able to do it, which we don't. So, considering all of that, there are some contracts out here we can do. Some tedder contracts. We haven't done tedding in a couple of episodes, so that's an option. That one's pretty close to our land. $1,400. Not terrible. That one's also really close. So we could do both of those and get about $2 grand. There's a plowing contract for almost $3 grand. There's some mowing contracts. There's a hoeing contract, which we don't have that, unfortunately. A couple of harvesting contracts. This is a pretty good harvesting contract. 12 grand. It's going to take us a while to do that, but I kind of feel like that's what we need to do right now. We need some money, and that will get us to pretty much 20 grand. That would be a real positive plus for us. There's also some other decent ones, like this cultivating is a decent one. It's real close, and it wouldn't take us long at all to do that. But I'm kind of leaning towards this harvesting. Let's just go visit 113 really quick. 113 right here. Soybeans. So we'd get a little bit of extra soybeans that we could save and store. We also have a little bit of barley and oat in here. I don't think it's best to sell any of these today. I think it's all December. We really want to sell all this in December if at all possible. We want this most money as possible out of this, right? Doesn't necessarily mean when we start December that it's going to be better than it is now, but according to the map, or the timeline here, the yearly timeline, it appears that it should be better. So we've got a lot we can sell then. But I've said a long time ago, I want to really start turning some of that into other products because it's going to make us more money in the long run. And to do that, we needed more money. This would almost get us there. So really what I'm talking about putting in, it's what we've put in on the one tile challenge. And I know I've said many times I don't like utilizing the same thing, but sometimes there's no way around it. But if we put in something like one of these windmills, these windmill grain mills, whatever you want to call them, I mean, these things are what we really need. It's exactly what we need, because it can make us a lot more money by turning in our crops into flour. Flour is going to make us more money in the long run than that is. I mean, the barley and the oat, decent prices, like $1,000, right? The oat's even better, right? $1,683. But yeah, I mean, if we turn it into flour, I mean, this is probably not going to be a very good example, because it's going to show 1436, which the oat's more than that, but you're going to get more out of it, right? Because it's not going to be, you're going to get 1,000 liters for you're going to get more flour out of 1,000 liters than you are just selling it as is, selling the crop as is. If that makes sense, I don't know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It's not a very good yielding field, this one. It is a large field. It's a very large field, actually. This would take a long time. This would be a very, very long time lapse given the size of our current harvester. It'd be a lot of trips too. Our trailer is not. Our trailer is not very big, and what I mean by that is cannot store that much. I'm kind of considering selling it. Because we are allowed to sell in this series. We don't have to hold on to anything in this series. We can sell whatever we want whenever we want to. So I'm kind of leaning towards selling it. It make us probably $6,500 because it's 99% condition. So $6,500. it would mean that we would basically utilize all the money that we currently have up on buying a new trailer. But it could potentially help us out tremendously. Now, the biggest problem, I think, is if I do that, you know, one of these are really what I want, which if we sell that, we would be able to afford this without any problem. I downloaded these, which are basically just old wooden trailers, which I think are fantastic. And this actually is what we need for the trees, too. We could utilize this for the trees, and it doesn't cost us anything to modify these, except for the extension obviously costs a little bit more. But that's 15 liters versus the one we currently have, which is like 9? 8.5. 8.5, I think. So I feel like that's a no-brainer. I feel like that's what we should do, right? That kind of kills two birds with one stone. We can modify it into this, which means we can put trees on top of it when the time comes to get rid of the trees, and we don't have to make as many trips, and we actually are going to end up making a tiny bit of profit off of it. Yeah, I think we do it. I think we do it. What's the design here? I don't know what we're changing here. Oh, there's just a beam on the bottom. I don't know which one I like better. I guess that. What color do we want? Should we go with like an orange to kind of match a little bit of our... But I mean, our Volvo is kind of like a really red orange more than anything. It's not really orange. I don't know. Don't really like the red, I'm going to be honest with you. Big fan of black. I like black. Gray makes a lot of sense, I think, for this type of trailer, too. Obviously, brown makes sense, too. But it doesn't really look very good with the top. I think I'll go with this dark gray charcoal color, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. I mean, we definitely want the extension. There's no reason for us to buy this if we're not getting the extension. It's not going to do anything different than what we currently have, right? Yeah, let's do it. Let's buy this. Let's do that contract. It's going to take a while to do that contract. I probably won't do all of it on camera, more than likely. But let's do that. We'll go sell this trailer. We need to get some gas as well while we're at it. And that at least gives us a little bit of money so we can utilize a worker, because we're going to need to, right? I don't want to stop our harvesting when I'm going to deliver the product. That would just take even longer to do, right? So we'll take this up to the shop. We're going to get this thing sold. I kind of already showed you what it's going to give us. It's going to be just slightly above probably 6,500. If I can get to the right screen. Yeah, 6,249 right now. It might even be less than 6,500 because it's 99% condition. It just doesn't have that many hours on it, so yeah, it's just very limited use. And actually, this is the low version of that trailer too, so we can't even store that much in this trailer. So the one we got is really a massive upgrade for us, a truly massive upgrade. I'm hopeful. Now that I purchased it, I didn't even test this. I should have. I'm hopeful that our harvester arm boom can actually reach to the top of that. I think it can, but now that I'm seeing it, I'm a little concerned. I guess we'll find out. Right now, I don't know where the trigger is in here for this. Okay, there it is. Okay, so let's repair it. Let's repaint it. Okay, we're gonna get 7,189. I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. That gets us above what we had. Awesome. Okay. There's a guy in here. I didn't even see you, buddy. You got a sweet mustache. Anyway. I'll hook up to the trailer. Yeah, let's just take this contract really quick before it leaves. Oh, there's another one. No, there's still not stuff we want to do, though. This is really all we can do. This or a sunflower corn contract. Soybeans, except we've got to travel pretty far away to sell it, but it's a pretty much straight shot, so that's not going to be too bad. Okay, contract has been accepted. let's drive over to the field together, and then I will meet you. After we do that, I'll meet you with the harvester. Now, I think there might be a back way for us to get there. Yeah, there is. If I go directly, you probably can't really see it, but from where our yard is, if I'm looking at this road, I go left, and then left again, past our tree line, and then left down this little track over here. I can turn off the beacons. I don't need those on anymore. We'll just put it... I don't know where to put it. I guess for the time being, I'll just put it in this neighbor's area here. They probably won't mind. Hopefully. All right, let's get to work. This is going to take a while. It's going to take a long while, but it's going to be worth it, man. This is going to get us over 20 grand. This is going to be good. All right, a very long time lapse. I had a lot of issues down at the very end of the field here, as you, I'm surely saw. There's like a bit of an incline, and for whatever reason, I was unable to get a lot of that harvested. Did figure out a way in the end to get most of it. I'm getting off track here a little bit. To get most of it, but there is a tiny little section there that I still haven't been able to get, so I'll try again, because that's more than likely some of the, the profit that we could potentially make. Is trying to get everything off the field here, right? So far things are going well. Still a very long way to go. We have only finished 20% of the field, which is a bit daunting. The nice thing, though, is that so far we have not had to utilize a worker, which means we have not utilized funds from our bank account, right? So that's good. It's going to eventually have to happen. I don't really recall how much is actually in here, 46%. So probably another 2 or 3 2 or 3 harvester loads here, and we're going to have to kind of make a carting trip, if you will, to the sell point, which it's not that close. It's, as a matter of fact, on the complete other side of the field, or the map here. But it's a straight shot for the most part, so it shouldn't be too bad of a trip. Not a whole lot of winding and figuring out where you're going. This is literally just right back past our 134 field and just keep going, and it's down there. We've been there before. We didn't go that way to get there. We went the longer way on the main road. That was early on. But yeah, progress is being made. I don't want to sit here and just do multiple time lapses on this field because it is, you know, such a large field. But we'll probably do a second time lapse on this field, but we'll do a little bit of a jump cut here, and I'll be back with you once we have a full trailer load and we're heading over to the shop, or to the sell point. Excuse me. I can't talk today. I just keep saying the wrong words. I know what I want to say before I say it, and then the wrong word comes out. So anyway, we'll finish off getting the trailer filled up, and then be back with you when we're on our trip to go sell the product for the contract, so we can actually see where we got to, and at that point we'll be putting the worker on as well. And that's another thing, right down here at the end. I wanted to get that sorted out before the worker got here, because unless I turned off, well, I guess I could have, yeah, if I turned off the headland passes, then the worker wouldn't have worried about it. But if I didn't, if I just put it directly on a worker, he'd probably be having issues, or she'd having issues down here with the same kind of thing I was dealing with this incline on the side of the hill. Looks like that's a little bit of a rough edge there for the map that needs to be taken care of. You can kind of see it from here if you look at it. It's clearly up the side of the hill there. And as a matter of fact, what's left is just one little tiny thing. It might not even matter to 1 liter. Probably won't. I've been doing a little bit of an untraditional path here, and I'm just kind of going around and just getting smaller and smaller by doing headland passes here. I just think, given the size of this field and how small the hopper is, or the storage is in the harvester here, it's probably the best bet for us. That way we always have the ability to unload whenever we need to, instead of going down the middle and getting stuck, which I do often in the 1-tile challenge, thinking we have more room than we do. So we'll carry on. I will be back with you, like I said, once the trailer is full. Okay, we are full. We're going to put the worker here on set up here, ready to go, and he doesn't have a whole lot of room here, so the odds are he's going to be full pretty quickly, but that's okay. We are full. We're going to go ahead and head on over here and drop this off. Now, quick note, I forgot that this trailer is like an articulate type of trailer. Well, I don't know if articulate is the correct word here, but it's very hard to back in. This may pose a problem for us. May pose a big problem when it comes to unloading stuff into our silo. I really don't know how far that trigger sticks out. It's going to be probably difficult, but we're going to see if we can still manage our way through it. Nonetheless, we're on the way to our sell point here. Made pretty good progress. There's not a whole lot left. I would say we're halfway-ish, maybe slightly above halfway. Complete with the field. It's taken a long time. It is 11 o'clock here in game time, as you can see. So it's been a long episode, probably the longest we've had on the series so far, but again, I do think it is well worth it, and we really needed to do a contract like this to really get us to the next stage, the next phase here. Getting that mill is a huge thing for us. It's going to make us so much more money, and really it'll allow us to be able to do other things too, right? A little hard to pull this trailer because it's so heavy. Totally get that. The actual tractor we have is not the most powerful tractor in the world by any means. Now, we do need gas for this. I think I can fill up gas over there, I think. Let's do a quick autosave here. I certainly don't want the game to crash on me after we've done that much work. Yeah, the gas station's there by the shop. So on the way back, we might, not even might, we will stop by and fill up some gas there. Because we're getting pretty low. So it's going to take a little bit of money from us, but it should only be 150, 200, maybe 300 bucks at most. So that's not too bad. But let's go ahead and get this to the sell point here. We'll get back. We'll try to finish up the harvest and then make some money. All right, we are still making some solid progress. We've got a long way to go here, gang. I didn't want to do a really long time lapse again because we already did one of the longest time lapses we've done in FS25 so far, if not the longest we've done. So I didn't want to do another one of the same thing, so we'll do a bit of a jump cut now. I'll get the rest of this done. It's going to take a while. It'll probably be closer to in-game time, 2, maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll see, right? Maybe it'll be faster than that. I don't think it will be, but we'll see. I'll continue on here. Whenever we're on the last trip to the sell point, I will be with you. I did not buy the gas on the way back. I figured I would get it on the way to the next drop-off. I'm going to try to time it a little bit better where I have the worker working for a little bit longer than just 30%, right, of the harvester capacity, right? I'm going to try to plan it a little bit better where the worker can do the whole 100% because it does take me a while to go and drop this off. It's a very unique trailer, the way that it drops the actual crops out of it, just little holes in the bottom of it that open up and it drops it straight down instead of it being like a tip or anything like that. But I guess it makes sense given how old that trailer is, right? I guess it makes sense that that's the way it would work. It's just very unique, right? Not anything, we don't really have anything like that in the game besides that one specifically. So kind of cool to have. But anyway, we're going to carry on here. We've got, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 6 more passes, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, something like that. We'll carry on. We'll get it done. I'll be back with you when we're on our final trip to the sell point. All right, we are pretty much done here, gang. We've got a tiny little bit that I missed right there, but otherwise we're done. Finally, it took quite a while. It was not as long as I actually thought. Well, it's probably because we're on 2 times time, but yeah, almost 1 o'clock by the time we go and transport all this. It will be 1 o'clock. But yeah, not too bad, man. That's going to be real good money for us right here. I'm just going to go ahead and put the harvester over here for right now. I'll take it back off camera. There's no reason to watch me drive it back to the yard. You've seen me do that plenty of times. So we're going to head on to the shop now, and we will drop off the remainder of this. I am going to do everything I can to try to stop it and save as much soybeans as humanly possible for us. We want the extra soybeans so we can sell those and make a little bit of extra money for us. Now, the mills we're going to put down, I do not believe they have the extended possibility to make soybean flour, or soy flour, I guess, in this case. But that's okay. This can still be an extra little bit of profit for us when the time comes to sell soybeans, which is normally in the middle of the summer, right? So we'll hold on to it. It's not going to harm it to hold on to it. And then hopefully, I don't really know how much we're going to get out of this. I'm hoping for, 2,000, 2,500 liters. May not be that much, but I'm hoping that's the amount of money I'm able to capture and keep and take back to the yard to store. Now, when that does happen, again, we're going to have the issue with the backing up, right? So I'm hopeful that I'm able to either push it in there somehow or do a relatively decent job of backing it up without it jackknifing on me. But I'm going to be realistic and realize that that's probably not going to happen. So my hope is truly that there's a possibility that the trigger point is not all the way in there. I don't really remember. When we dropped off crop last time, I think we had to go relatively far into the little shed area to drop it. But sorry, I hit the microphone, gang. But I could be wrong on that statement, so I guess we'll find out when the time comes and we get there. But let's head on up to the sell point. Let's sell the remainder that we need to finish this contract. Then we'll head back to the yard. We'll turn in the contract, which should put us at about almost $23,000, which is huge for us. And then obviously next episode we'll be able to sell some of that crop. I want to keep some of it for the mill that we're going to put down, as I mentioned earlier on. And hopefully we'll be able to put the rest of the soybeans into the silo. If we can't, we've got a bigger problem with this trailer than just what we had initially thought. The upgrade was going to be good for us, and it may not be. So we'll figure it out. We've got a lot of things to do. Let's get to the sell point. We'll go from there. All right, we are pulling up here now. We look a little bit closer when we unload this too. It's pretty cool, man. Just opens up these flaps and it drops straight out. Okay, I was able to stop it. Actually, it's more than what I said I was hoping for. We said sell 251 liters of it, but that's, or $251 of it, but that's okay. We have 2,903 liters to take back to the farmyard, which I think is absolutely fantastic. That is going to be so helpful in the long run for us when it's time to sell this. If we're unable to do anything else with it, which more than likely we won't be. But this is going to be so helpful, man, being able to, yeah, this is going to be great, putting down some soybeans into the silo and selling those in about 6 months. It's going to be a nice little profit for us. Soybeans are normally, let's do a quick save here, normally they are pretty high profiting crop, just selling them outright. We got to go back up here. Soybeans, yeah, so 3,220 in June. So very, very, very highly profitable crop. So that's going to be really good. I'll meet you back at the yard. Let's see if we can get these into the silo. Let's hope, fingers crossed, hope and pray that we can get these into the silo, or get the soybeans into the silo. And then we'll probably end. Okay, let's see what happens here. Moment of truth. I'm hoping and praying that I'm going to be able to. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I can already tell you I'm not going to be able to. This is going to be nearly impossible. This is a problem. This is a big problem. How are we going to do this? What are we going to do here, first of all? Because as soon as I start backing this up, yeah, see, it's already starting to jackknife. Oh, boy. What are we going to do here? What are we going to do? I don't know what to do. I don't think I'm going to be able to get very far in here. Nope. Yep, that ain't going to work. Oh boy, what are we going to do here? Huh. We made a mistake upgrading to this trailer. We made a big mistake upgrading to this trailer. Well, while I think about that for a minute, let's turn this in at least. Let's get some money. 23,299, that is awesome. I love that. I mean, I might be able to just push it in there, but that's not really the most ideal thing, right? That's not really what we want to do. Sorry about the camera angle there, gang. Yeah, this is this is not going to work. I am not good at backing these in. I know a couple people can actually do an okay job of doing this. I am not one of them. All right, we were able to make it work. I think we can get by. Is it perfect? No, but I think we can get by. I just have to get used to pushing it in like that, very unrealistically. But well, anyway, it's there, I guess. So could be worse. All right, we're going to leave the episode at that point, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button, subscribe button, all that good stuff. Helps me out an absolute ton. Thanks so much to my members. Discord's down below. Link for the membership is down below. All that stuff if you're interested. Early access to videos like this one. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.